good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching my videos. I'm here driving the bus with Carl from the Moon and Chris from MMCrypto. Say hi to everybody out there. How you guys doing?
Hey guys, doing great here in Kopangan, Thailand, even though things are not great, at least enjoying the sun, concentrating on content and following the financial markets.
Yeah, same here. I'm doing very well. It is interesting to see the current environment around the world. Let's discuss this and see if we can come up with some cool things to say about that.
Well, my channel has always been about silver, really, from the very beginning. And I want to talk a little bit about that in this video and how silver is decoupling from the futures price. And you could head over to like a lot of your dealers and you'll find that that your silver eagles and silver maples are sold out. Eagles will be delivered sometime next month, if at all. And you can see the price is like $25 right now. Today, as of today, if you head over to like atmax.com, goldsilver.com, you will see the price is $25 for an ounce of silver. Meanwhile, they have a ticker symbol showing what the actual COMEX futures price is at $12.29. This separation is due to the fact that there is no supply of the physical asset and the difficulty of moving a large, heavy physical asset around. Today, I went to the airport to pick up some silver, and it took me all day basically to go through the paperwork and pay a bribe to the government so I can get it of $1,000. That's not including the shipping costs to get it here. So, so this is why Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are a lot better. Don't you guys agree that isn't it a lot easier to move Bitcoin compared to silver and gold? What do you think, Carl?
Yeah, I mean, for anyone who holds their wealth in gold and silver, there becomes this problem where if you actually want to move and you want to leave your country, let's say during an economic crisis where there is political instability, then you might have a big problem because not only is it very heavy, and it might be, I mean, if you have millions of dollars or maybe even billions, but let alone just a few thousands, it is still heavy. And also it's actually easily confiscatable by governments when you cross borders, when you go through security on airplanes and on airports. So there are a few problems, but I don't want to be too negative on precious metals because I also come from the background of precious metals before I came into Bitcoin. I understand the fundamentals of them, and I do believe that they are very, very valuable for anyone who wants to be financially free. There are pros and cons, however, just like with Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin has some of the properties that gold doesn't have, where it's digital. You can actually escape the borders. You can go anywhere you want with $1,000, $1 billion, trillion. You can move Bitcoin very, very easily. It's not a problem. But then again, Bitcoin also has a downside. If you don't have a internet connectivity in your house or in your neighborhood, then you actually cannot spend it in the immediate short term. So there are pros and cons. I think they complement each other, and that's why I always have kept all of my precious metals from back in the days. I never sold them to buy Bitcoin actually, but I have been focusing much more on Bitcoin the past few years, and I'm for the past 2 years, I would say, I've only been buying Bitcoin, and I've just been keeping my gold and silver. So yeah, I think they complement each other, but I do really see the value in gold and silver in the long term, because gold and silver has held their value for thousands of years, and that is something that is not going to change for the next few thousands of years, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree to that. I would even go that far that I would say not only they are complementing each other, you have gold being maybe more in the future something like a local currency, because it cannot be that global, because all these certificates, the paper, you have certificates on gold, I would never buy something like that. I would always buy physical gold. So it's always good, for example, in a small community, in a village, in a city, if you have gold, like small 1 gram ounces not ounces, small 1 gram coins, for example, you can always have that, and they will always accept it as money, no matter what happens in a local community. Globally, however, Bitcoin is just perfect. I mean, you can use Bitcoin as well locally, but globally, Bitcoin is actually perfect. So I would distinguish between local and global, and either gold and Bitcoin, they have perfect use cases for these micro and macro areas or point of views.
Well, thank you guys. I know you guys have a lot of things to do and you're very busy over there. But I won't take up too much of your time, but I have a lot of questions, a few questions, but I only ask you a few of them, basically, from my audience. And I want to ask you guys those same questions that they have asked me. And one of the questions that somebody has asked is that, should people load up on altcoins when Bitcoin reaches 20K, or with silver when gold reaches 2K? What do you think? Chris, you start off.
Yeah, let me answer the Bitcoin question first. We made some videos about altcoins on our channel, and also I made some videos about when we are planning to go into altcoins. Of course, all of that, what's happening right now, was maybe a little bit expected, but not 100% foreseeable. Of course, this price crash caught everyone by surprise. But what I've been always saying is that I am speculating on altcoins to gain sustainably momentum once Bitcoin reaches the new all-time high. Recently, we saw a big pop in the altcoins, and then they were crumbling down once again. And I'm very happy that I didn't go like as big as I was planning to once Bitcoin reaches the new all-time high into altcoins. And I have been waiting, and I will keep waiting until Bitcoin reaches the new all-time high, because once that happens, I think we will see also on Google Trends the search term by Bitcoin and Ethereum, Ripple, and all of that spiking up. And I think once we reach the new all-time high, as I said, we will see altcoins gaining momentum, people searching for cheap alternatives, just as we have been seeing it before. And as I already said, this is the game plan right now. Once we reach 19,700 or whatever for Bitcoin, I will switch over a significant amount of my portfolio, not too significant, maybe 30%, over to altcoins and diversify it into them.
Ikar?
I am a little bit more bearish on the altcoins. I think that especially in the financial crisis and financial depression, I feel like the fundamental problem of this system is that money is too easily printable. And looking at most of the altcoins, there's always a central authority who can have an impact on the supply. They can print, they can basically inflate the supply of these units or coins or tokens. And I hope at least that people realize that this is not a good way or a good alternative to what we're seeing currently. And I think and hope that most of the altcoins are going to continue to deflate, even though there are a few of the projects out there that could make sense in the long run. But personally, I am not going to speculate on altcoins when Bitcoin goes above 20,000. I am actually not even speculating right now. The only altcoin I bought in the recent history was Ethereum. I was a little bit too bullish. I thought that Ethereum was going to start gaining on Bitcoin. However, as we've seen for the past few days now, that did not really happen. But I think that I am not going to pull any more triggers than that. I think Bitcoin is the solution to the current monetary problems we have, not the altcoins. And altcoins for me is something that I use for short-term swings. But I treat them more like trades than anything else. I would never invest in altcoins for the long term. To me, that doesn't really make sense looking at the current state of altcoins.
Yeah, quick thing I forgot to mention is when Bitcoin reaches the new all-time high, then and I'm switching some of the portfolio into altcoins. Of course, if you look back into history, if there was an altcoin season, it lasted for 1 to 3 months. like the really significant altcoin season, and I will not hold this altcoin portfolio longer than 1 to 3 months, given what the charts are telling us. However, for Ethereum, I will always hold some Ethereum for the very long run. I've been also going into Ethereum, and of course, with the recent crash, my buy-in, the price went lower than my buy-in. That's fine. I'm still holding it, but for all the other altcoins, as I said, I'm planning to go into them, but not holding them for too long, of course, because then your portfolio will go down with them.
That's true. That's true. I mean, my portfolio did get a big hit, and I think everybody's portfolio got hit in this recent downturn. And we all guessed wrong. Even though we did know that this crash would have negatively affect Bitcoin. Most of us didn't really think about, well, wait a second, what about altcoins? And glad I didn't buy nothing, because it would have taken me forever to rebuy back everything that I had. So I don't think I would have done that. I would have, even if I knew for sure that everything was going down, because it was just so much work. I have over 300 different altcoins. And yeah, I'm not going to, I don't think I would have been able to get rid of everything and then come back in later on in the market. But all right, with that said, I have another hard question for you guys, a really difficult question. And it goes like this. Okay, so does it make sense to liquidate your stocks to buy hard assets such as gold, silver, and Bitcoins? Carl, let's start off with you.
Personally, I don't like giving recommendations, because when it comes to stocks and hard assets, you have to look at everything individually. I mean, if we look at stocks right now, there are a lot of losers, but there are also some winners. Just like we talked about just a couple of days ago, we're seeing grocery stores, both in Sweden and in the US. These stocks are actually doing well right now. And there must be other stocks also doing well if you can predict the environment. Like, if there is a company making masks, for example, just to make a very easy and to understand example, there are winners and there are losers. I mean, to me, you'd have to look at it individually. But if we are going to slide into a depression now, then obviously you'd have to be bearish on stocks and bullish on hard assets. But I would just say that any portfolio needs to hold at least some gold, silver, and Bitcoin, regardless of any other holdings. This is something that I am comfortable saying to people, because it's very, very, very important as a hedge against the monetary system.
Yes, very good point. And my point is a little bit similar, even though I'm coming from another angle. I would say, on average, you could maybe make the case, yes, especially what's going to happen in the immediate future and the mid-run. However, I would say also Warren Buffett is saying that even though I don't agree with him on Bitcoin, I agree with him mostly on stocks. He is not investing in the stock itself as a stock. He's investing in businesses and buying stocks to get actually cuts from the business. So right now, what you could do, and not giving any specific recommendations here, you could think about the scenario of a depression and think about what businesses will do well in this depression. And as you already said, we saw Walmart, Zoom, like video conferences, all of these stocks are gaining momentum, and maybe it's overpriced, maybe it's not priced in well enough, but you could look at the space and see what businesses will do well in a depression. And then these stocks might make sense to hold. However, I think in general, not a recommendation, but I'm doing it for myself. Holding things like Bitcoin or also even silver or gold are, of course, the safer bet in a depression. Whereas stocks can still be nice, but I would make the case that the vast majority of the stocks are not even right now a good buy in the depression. This is my own opinion.
Right. So we're going to have one last question, and then I'll let you guys go. What do you think about the chances of a bank holiday, such as when basically the whole banking system, all the banks close, and they only allow you to take out a small amount of money from the bank until they restructure the whole banking system, maybe just the local banking system or the whole global banking system. But what are the chances of us seeing that in the next 6 months?
Yeah, this is exactly what I think we should be expecting, because the system, the banking system, is in fact insolvent. Fundamentally, it is built upon a structure which is something we can easily compare with a pyramid scheme, where there is not enough funds to pay all of the people involved. There is only a fraction of it, and that's why the banking system would do such a thing where they have to ransom, what was it called, when you have to give only a small part of the cash to people, and maybe do these limits where people can only withdraw maybe $50 per day, and then maybe $30 per day, and then eventually it will just come to a complete halt. I think that this is exactly what is going to happen, because it's basically inevitable. When people get scared, fearful, they want to withdraw the cash, people will realize that there is no cash there. There's just a small little fraction, and maybe only 2 people out of 100 can actually get the cash out of the bank.
Yeah, it was actually always the case that at no point of time within the last years, everyone could have gone to the bank, at least in Germany, pulled out $1,000 of cash, because the banks would have run out of money after, I don't know, the first 20% of the people trying to withdraw the money. So this was always the case. However, the problem right now is that we have such a big demand for cash, and that many people are going there and withdrawing cash, and that will bring the necessity of the banks restricting the amount of cash you can withdraw, even though it was never ever possible. The people were not just not withdrawing the cash. So yes, and one very interesting story about that is we can already see it happening in India. There were news broke actually a few days ago, where one big bank in India, I think it's the Jet Bank or whatever, I forgot the name, they said within 1 month everyone can only withdraw $700 worth of rupees from the ATMs, from the banks. So it is already happening in some countries, and I think we can see that trickle down to the developed countries as well within the next few weeks or months. But let's see what happens. It's just very interesting to state that it was always the case they never had enough cash to give everyone their money, and now we will see probably some laws or rules coming in for that, and we can already see it happening in India. Yeah.
Okay, well, with that, those questions answered, thank you guys for coming on this channel. I really appreciate you guys sharing your knowledge with the rest of us and my subscribers. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And check out also Carl from the Moon's channel, right? Excellent channel, so it gives you excellent technical analysis. And Chris's channel, MMCrypto, he does excellent analysis based on fundamental analysis. So those are excellent things. You combine those two together, fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and you get a better chance of trading on the market. So yeah, those are excellent things to use for improving your ability to make money. So yeah, thanks a lot again, guys, and we'll see you guys maybe hopefully again on this channel. Cheers.
Bye.